Hi and welcome to Life Coach London. I'm Emily and I'm a life coach based in London. Now today we're going to be talking about self-care and why it's important. It might be useful to just have a notepad and pen nearby, but it's not essential. And if you can find a quiet, comfy seat, then we will get started. Why is self-care important? Now, there's an amazing video clip with Oprah Winfrey where she's talking about this topic, and she says the very fact that you even exist in the world right now is so miraculous that you should fill the cup of the miracle that is you with radical self-love and let it overflow. And I love Oprah, and that is true. But sometimes the miracle of our own existence is very hard to think about because existence gets in the way of that. So I'm going to try and reduce the concept down to something a bit more manageable. So here's an idea. This is hopefully a bit easier to get your head around. Self-care is anything like exercise, sleeping, having a really long bath, hanging out with people you love, having a quiet cup of tea in your own room and not being disturbed for 5 minutes. It can be binge watching your favourite show. It's anything that takes care of you and gives you a bit of you time. And it does not have to be expensive, and it does not have to be time consuming. It's anything that gives you energy and makes you feel good. Self-care is not making yourself available at the drop of a hat to anyone who asks for your time. Self-care is not staying late in the office to do a job you're not paid to do because someone else didn't do their own job properly. Self-care is not shouldering the burden of your worries all by yourself. Self-care is not washing your hair for a fortnight because you've been too busy with the demands of juggling work and family life. So I'm sure these are all things that we're guilty of from time to time. It's really good to be just aware of them when they're happening and think, okay, now do I deserve 10 minutes that are just for me? If you think you don't need or deserve self-care, which is something that's definitely comes up with my clients, you're wrong. Everyone needs and deserves time to rejuvenate. Some people find the concept of looking after themselves a bit trickier than others, so we're going to think about that for a moment. This is an exercise that I'd like you to do with me. Can you think of someone you know who is really good at putting boundaries on their time and looking after themselves? When you've got the image of that person in your head, I'd like you to think about how it makes you feel when you think about that particular quality in that person. What feelings does it bring up for you? Do you admire them? Do you think they might be a bit selfish? It might be helpful to write down in your own words anything that person evokes in you when you think of them putting boundaries in place to look after themselves. Now, once you've thought about what that stirs up for you, what do you think that means in terms of your own feelings about caring for yourself? If you're thinking, well, they're just a bit selfish, does that mean that when you try and take care of yourself, you think it's selfish as well? And it's just useful to start thinking about these things and become a bit more conscious and aware of them, because that's when you start to change your behaviours and adapt. So if you can't imagine the idea of putting yourself first, or it makes you feel guilty, or it makes you feel like you're being selfish, there are a whole load of metaphors that can help you with this. So there's the metaphor of if you're on a plane and it's about to crash, you fix your own oxygen mask before you fix someone else's. There's the woodcutter analogy, where the woodcutter is so busy sawing with his blunt saw, he says, well, I don't have time to sharpen my saw, I'm too busy sawing. And the idea is you have to look after yourself first before you look after other people. Assume that you've broken both your legs and you're still trying to help others, and then you end up breaking your arms as well. Like, you can't do as much for other people if you've not replenished yourself first and you don't feel well in yourself. So it's incredibly important. If you are someone who is always giving, it's a really good idea to think about what you're doing for yourself as well, just so you can keep on going and keep on helping other people. If you are powering through even though it hurts you because you think you need to give all your energy to everyone except yourself, you need to heal. And I think what's really important about self-care is it's not just an idea of taking, I've got a holiday coming up, I can rest and recuperate then. It's about building in things every day. So can you introduce a small moment, and can you put it in your calendar even? Can you say, okay, at 11 a.m. for 10 minutes, I'm going to do something that I just really enjoy, whether it's, I don't know, having a particular snack you like, or daydreaming for 10 minutes, or I don't know, having a really hot shower, I don't know. But just something that means that you are looking after yourself. So in the next couple of videos, we're going to think about the different ways to carve out time for those me moments that are good for you, and how to think about that time as being necessary and not a luxury. So we're going to talk about calendar management, which applies to other areas as well. And we're going to think about the concept of guilt-free me time. And we're going to work it out together. So let me know how this video was for you. I know that we're all approaching this at very different levels, so any comments will be much appreciated. And you can also follow me on my Instagram and talk to me there as well. Thanks very much for joining. Take care.